Welcome back to another episode of Off the Backwall. This is our third episode, powered by the World Players of Handball. I'm your host, Ryan Watkins, joined today by my co-hosts, Mark Doyle and John Alvarado Bike. What's going on, fellas?
Really excited to be back here. And it's been a long time. We've done a lot of stuff in the past 4 weeks since we've been recording, since we recorded last. And I'm excited to share with you kind of what we're going to talk about today. Is going to be a little freeform, some handball, some pop culture. You know, we're going to spread it out across the board today. And I think it's going to make for a really, really good show. And I'm really excited. That's all I'll say right now.
I'm equally excited.
Mark, what do you have to say about that, buddy?
Yeah, equally excited. I've seen the agenda and I can already tell this is going to be my last podcast.
Well,
at least we had you on for at least 2 podcast episodes. So
it's going to end up being 1.5, and those were great times. I won't be sad that it ended. Your tenure ended. I'll be happy that it happened.
Yeah, one thing I do want to mention this before we go on with this podcast. Mark Doyle, co-host of the show, still has yet to listen to episode 2 that he's not in. So
I listened to 20 minutes while on the treadmill the other day, and time goes slow when you're running, but when you're listening to you three at the same time, even slower.
Oh wow!
Okay. Well,
wow.
I'm flattered.
Thank you. As you can see, 2 of us are really happy to be here today, and a third woke up on the wrong side of the bed. But let's go.
All righty. So first on the agenda today, as the listeners of last episode heard, John and I, we traversed the Big Blue, the big Atlantic Ocean. We went across the pond and had a little bit of a trip there for New Year's. Went to Rome. John, I mean, do you want to talk about Rome first, John? Or do you want to talk about Ireland first?
We can talk about Rome first. We could talk about it a little bit. Just that it was incredible. The food was great. Just everything was great. Just the things you see there are incredible. I'm not, like, as you know, Ryan, we were there. Like, I'm not the biggest art person and all, but just some of the history you're seeing there was like incredible. Like, you just walk 15 minutes and you're seeing this structure, this painting that's been there for hundreds of years. And it's like, it's just incredible. And we had a blast there. It was a really good time. You know all the stuff that we saw better. You're better at describing it, but I had a really good time.
Yeah, I know. We definitely hit all the landmarks there in Rome while we were there, and then our transition over to Ireland. John had a blast. I got food poisoning there, so my travel day was a little rough, but we made it to Ireland. I think Rome was that, but no handball there in Rome, John. So I don't want to get too caught up on this subject because our co-host Mark Doyle here in 60 seconds. So
he's on a time crunch and he hates things on handball. He's such a handball junkie. So with that said, we started our Ireland trip with, like you mentioned, Ryan, you got sick. And so you said, we need a rental car. And I said, okay, sure. And we rented a car. And as it turns out, for those of you that went to the Worlds in 2024, those that have visited Ireland, they drive on the they drive on the left side of the road there. And most of their roads are 1 lane, so you're driving next to cars. So I think over the week I ended up traveling about 9 hours. I drove about 9 hours on the left side of the road, and it definitely made for some. First, I feel like I earned some grit points. I was really stressed out, but I had some really good co-pilots. I had Ryan for the first 2 hours, and then we had the local driving legend Mark Doyle as the other co-pilot give me tips along the way to help me be successful in my driving. But yeah, it was really stressful, and you think like. Ireland was awesome, but like, Mark, how old is Ireland? Like, how old is it?
Great question.
Ballpark.
I don't know.
Okay, 1,000 years. Way older than the United States. And you'd think that their roads would be wider, and they just weren't. So that makes for an interesting, very focused driving. I felt like I was 15 and a half again with my permit, fully locked in. Just like, we're going to die if I mess up. And luckily I didn't mess up and we made it here. But yeah, that's how I felt.
1,000 years is historically inaccurate. Sorry, Mark.
Okay.
Yeah, it's horrendously inaccurate, actually.
What is the actual answer?
It says Ireland is a modern independent country, which that's a bit touchy there, but over 100 years old. So
what?
We're quite far off.
No, I'm reading something here and it's 33,000 years old.
Yeah,
33,000.
That's
so for listeners, somewhere between 100 33,000 and 1,000 years is Ireland's age. Moral of that story is that the roads are, I can't believe the roads are how they are for being in between 20, let's call it 4,000 years old. We'll call it that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we had a great time there. You know, we drove from Dublin. Originally, we were going to take the Wexford bus, but given the circumstances, I felt that we were going to be unable to do that, or I was rather. So we drove down to.
I hate the Wexford bus.
Yeah, we drove down to Wexford, Ireland there with Mark Doyle, stayed at the Doyle family farm and stoves. If you were out there in Ireland looking for some antique stovage there, you can get it from Robert Doyle. So just wanted to give a quick shout out to the Doyle family for hosting John and I.
Thank you so much.
We had a tremendous time there. It's a beautiful side of the country. You know, it's not something that we're used to being in Southern California, John. So getting to see some of that rural farmland was pretty cool. And you and Mark went out for New Year's and met the king and had a good time. And yeah, so I if you guys want to talk a little bit about that, we can talk about that. Got in the big alley, right?
Yeah. Well, before we talk about the big alley and our massive victory, I want to talk about just our night out in the town. It was a night that we'll never forget, even though I forgot a lot of it. But it was a night I'll never forget. And the next morning, I'll never forget either.
Yeah. So I want to give a quick shout out to that next morning, John. You played local legend Gavin Buggy there in the morning. Everyone loves Gavin Buggy, and
yeah,
you really struggled against him that first game that you played against Gavin. And I asked you what's going on, and your response was, you're swinging at the middle ball.
Yeah, it was not good. I'm really glad I got to play him though. And we got to play at Mark's home court. I mean, Mark has a home court at his house on his farm in the shed. It is incredible. He's got jerseys hung up of handball legends. Some jerseys were hung up longer than others, have been up before. People say he hung up my dad's jersey about 12 minutes before we arrived. And I don't mind though, because that doesn't matter. Because when we get there, we see it up. We're like, wow, game respects game.
So yeah, we had it.
Huh?
Etched in history.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it just feels special to be included over there. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, Mark. Any comments from you?
No, it was a good time. We had a good time on the town, and then we had a good time next day. We went down to Collinstown Beach. Tried to get some games down there on the court, but someone beat us to it playing some tennis in a handball court. So that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great time. And after we went to Collinstown, we jumped over to that 60 by 30 court, Mark, in your home club in Tyrone, right?
Tyrone, yeah.
Tyrone, and the first time I've ever been in a 60 by 30, or the big alley, as our friends over there call it. John, is that the first time you've been in that court as well?
It was also my first time being in a court like that, so you can imagine the confusion of just the way the ball moves and all. And you're like, oh, there's no way they could beat this local legend if they had to play them 2-on-1.
Right, but prior to us playing 2-on-1, that local legend said that there was absolutely no chance that we would beat him in 2-on-1.
I do recall him saying that. No chance. Zero.
Yeah, Mark, what happened there when we played you 2-on-1?
Did you run too much the day before? Did you do one too many sprints the day before?
No.
Okay.
No excuses. I guess the lights went out. I've had longer.
That's all you hear from Mark Doyle there.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing this is what we got the whole time. Just, oh, you guys can't beat me. Loses. Well, the lights went out. So that's just kind of where we're at.
Yeah, but it was a tremendous time there in that 60 by 30 court, and then we came back and packed up the car and drove up. What was it? 3 hours to County Tyrone there.
It said 3:40 if we would have not stopped, but we stopped a little bit and we kind of sat down and ate. And that's one thing that I've kind of learned to appreciate now is like on a long trip like that, like stopping and eating and sitting down and just kind of enjoying where you're at and just being in a different country. And because usually like when I drive over here in the United States, like I'm just like, I got to get to point A to point B as quick as possible. If I stop for 6 minutes on a gas station, I need to drive 6 minutes faster. I need to make it up. But that's kind of not what happened there. It turned into like a 5-hour trip, but I didn't mind it at all. It was a great drive. I had a good time.
Yeah, and to give the listeners some context, kind of what John's talking about, I think it was 2 years ago at Salt Lake City, or maybe 3 years now. We packed up the car, John, myself, my dad, his father, and shout out to Chris Waddy Dog Watkins driving 105 miles an hour all the way back to Salt Lake to shave off about an hour and a half of our time. So that
was
was
remarkable. That was pretty special.
Generational.
I didn't sleep. I was pretty nervous, and it was about 4 a.m. and I was kind of like, because I was sitting behind Chris, I was like, oh my God, we're going fast. And Ryan's in the back just like, and I'm just like, oh my God, we're going so fast. That's what happened for about 7 hours. So
yeah. So
I know you guys really want to hear that. Let's go back to Ireland.
Yeah, back to Ireland. So we made it up there to County Tyrone, and huge shout out to the Kerr family. Niall Kerr for having us and hosting such a tremendous tournament there in Tyrone and Bracky, right?
Mark? Yeah, Bracky Handball. Sorry, I'll let Mark go. He's our
Irish correspondent.
Correct.
Great tournament. Cool. Thank you, Mark.
One of the best tournaments there is. Either side of the Atlantic, I'd say. The hospitality is second to none and always gets plenty of good players. It's the only tournament that can get Killian out of retirement, so I think that.
Yeah, we'll get to Killian and his wizardry in a bit.
Yeah, well, let's kind of, John. Do you have the draws up to tell us about what that Mick Kerr Memorial tournament had?
No, I don't, but I have it memorized.
Okay, well, you have literally one job for this podcast.
Yep.
So
I thought that we could just talk about our individual performances and kind of piece along the way together and see it, where get from point A to point B.
I think it's important that we first mention who was in that, and then we can talk about how great of an individual performance you guys had. So I have the draws up because I knew you weren't going to have them.
Thank you.
So for those that weren't following along, the Mick Kerr Memorial Tournament there in Bracky and County Tyrone had a tremendous draw with some of the names like Diarmid Nash, Gary McConnell, Brendan Fleming, Gavin Buggy, Sean Kerr, who made his return after a kind of a stretch of injuries, Dominic Lynch, Michael Hedigan, Colin Crean, Gavin Coyle, Rory Grace, who else? Connor McElduff, TGO, Shane Dunn, Daniel Relihan, amongst many others. And obviously the one that I'm leaving out, Killian Carroll, world champion, national champion, tons of WPH Tour titles. He kind of came out of retirement there to play at the Mick Kerr, the family tournament there. And last but not least, we have the White Devil, Mark Doyle. What a tremendous tournament from Mark Doyle. Mark, I want to hear about how you did, because I think you turned a lot of heads there. You haven't been back for a tournament in Ireland in a bit. And, you've been just getting so much better here in the States, playing on the WPH Tour. So I think, it didn't come as a shock to me because I had you as winning the tournament from the day I met you. I didn't even know we were going to the tournament. I knew you were going to win it. But you just played tremendous, and I think you turned a lot of heads. So what was that like for you to kind of come back into your home country, in front of your family, in front of your friends, and to just I'll let you tell the story of where you ended up in that tournament.
I had a good tournament, made the finals, so that was nice. I played like 3 tournaments probably in Ireland since I moved to the United States, and I don't know if I've ever won a game. It feels like, at least.
At the World, you didn't.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, John.
Got it.
So no, it was definitely good to get a couple of wins. Had a nice win again. Dominic, Dominic Lynch. Then a really tough game with Sean Kerr. Another tough game with Diarmid Nash before getting steamrolled by Killian. So.
Well, we don't have to talk about the steamroll yet, but your quarterfinal match was one of the best atmospheres you probably played in a while. I know, like, Mexico has been a good environment. You've played Sean there a few times, and it's live. But like, you were playing Sean, and that's his home court, and literally everyone there was going for Sean, and you could tell, like, every single point was like just massive roars for Sean. That's got to be a pretty cool environment to play in and try to keep control of your emotions and all and try to win. It was a big win.
Yeah, it was a big win. I played Sean's cousin Connor the last time I was here in the round of 16. Last time the tournament was on. Now he beat me 11-10 breaker on the Friday night, so that was a really good atmosphere as well.
Do you still have the eye guards from that match?
No.
Oh.
No. They're in the museum now.
Yeah, I don't have all my eye guards either, by the way, from a lot of matches, so that's okay.
But yeah, no, great atmosphere at that tournament. All weekend I thought there was a good atmosphere for all the games, especially Saturday evening and Friday. There's some good games Friday evening too. So
yeah, and I think you skimmed over it, Mark. But I think you would agree. Your biggest win to date, you beat German Nash. There,
yeah,
was it in a breaker or in two games?
Two games. Yeah, no, it was a great win. Was happy how I played. He probably didn't play up to par. Like, probably wasn't a vintage Nash performance by any means, but you can. That's not up to me. So
I feel like it was up to you. I just feel like you took him out of the game with how aggressive you were and how precise you were with your serves and kills and all. Like you didn't really give him a chance to get into his game. You were just converting so often, and that's just like against anyone. It's hard to play your own game when you're playing someone that's playing like that at their peak, probably. So
yeah, that's true too. But yeah, definitely delighted to beat Nash. He's got an unbelievable resume of titles. He's probably won just about everything except the world championship. So to beat someone like that who really cares about handball in every tournament he plays, it was definitely a proud moment for myself.
Yeah, not to discount you and your win though, Mark, but he is just coming off of an injury a couple months ago. So I'm kidding, but I'm not. No, Mark, you played. It was really, really cool to see you. Obviously come back home and punch your ticket to the final there, and you had some really tough match. I mean, your first round match, like it wasn't a walk in the park, and then you played.
Orin Kiernan, right?
Yeah.
It was an hour 35-minute game, I think so.
And then who did you have second round? Dominic Lynch, right?
Lynch, that was two close games as well, yeah.
Yeah.
So he is so good too.
Yeah. Oh, unbelievable. For almost, I think he's 49 and really soon, and it's super shape. So
his fitness is incredible.
Yeah. It'd be great to have him over in the States for a WPH stop. Sorry, Mark.
Say that again, Ryan. I missed that.
I said it'd be great to have Dominic Lynch over in the States for a WPH stop sometime.
Yeah, I think we might see him at the U.S. Nationals maybe this year. I heard that.
That's great because that's the WPH. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark Doyle.
Saying, if you want to come watch him play, I'm telling you where he's going to be.
Okay, thank you, Mark. And then so you beat Dominic Lynch, close game. Then you were able to skate past German Nash there in 2 games, and then talk about your final match against Killian. I know you said you got steamrolled, but Killian is somebody that you very much so look up to, and word on the street is Killian's kind of been giving you some coaching here on the low. So what was that like to be able to go up against your coach? And I mean, did he? It seemed like John and I were watching on the plane there, and it seemed like you just did not have really, like, he didn't give you an answer for anything. Like you couldn't. He just is so incredible. It's Killian Carroll. I mean, everyone knows how incredible he is, and even though he hasn't been playing a whole lot, it doesn't look like that. So what was that like, Mark, to get in the court against someone that perhaps you may idolize and definitely have as a coach in your corner?
Yeah, no, it was great. Been trying to play him since I came out here 4 years ago. I didn't think it'd take 4 years to actually get to play him, but no, it was great to play him in an actual game. Played him one time in a practice before, but to play him in a tournament match in the final, that was pretty cool. I think it was a different level than I seen in the practice game, I can tell you that. So he was playing great when he lined up for the first serve, and he was standing by the left with a hop coming. I was like, Oh boy, I'm in for it today. But yeah, no, he was flawless. His
Mark, I don't
ceiling,
think I'll ever forget, and you probably won't either, that, and it was just 1 point, but that shot he hit from the right, probably 30 35 feet back, overhand, side
yeah,
front, left side front. It's like, what? I was
yeah,
watching it, I said, Ryan, you got to see this. It
yeah.
was just
No,
crazy. It's like, what do
yeah,
you do?
it was super aggressive. Yeah, I noticed that. It was probably a game plan of his. I don't know. He probably watched some of my semi final, and I'd say the game again. Nash, it was more of a passively game. Like there was a lot of defensive rallies. I'd say a lot of ceilings, but I feel like Killian just like turned the screw on it a little bit more and didn't let me like settle at all. I never really felt comfortable in there at all. It was just he had me going left to right. He had me ceilings back down in the corner. His ceiling was pinning me back with my left hand, like right at the back wall.
Just perfect shots.
Yeah, anything he was doing, I thought like he was doing it pretty well, and he was putting the ball down too, and then
And one thing, Mark, I know we've talked about like when you're like playing Sean Lanning and how aggressive he is, and like just like how I'm trying to see if it's similar like to how we were playing Killian. Like when you're playing these like top players that are so aggressive that can do all this stuff, you're like your heart rate is so high and you're moving so fast. It's exhausting playing. And it's exhausting, right?
yeah, I was tired in there. Obviously it was a tough, probably before I wasn't the ideal schedule to go in and play Killian of all people with the schedule I had, but yeah, it's tough because they're so good and they're so fast. Just kind of I don't know. I find I put probably a little bit extra pressure on myself when I do get a setup, and then that's never.
How could you not? It's because it's like I need to score. Like these points are few and far. They're hard to get, and it's like I have a setup. I have to kill it, and that's not the right way to play probably, but that's just kind of what happens.
Yeah, you kind of force stuff then, and I think I was 12-0 down maybe.
Yeah,
first, and it's like. Yeah, you're probably doing stuff that you wouldn't ever like. Stuff you realistic shouldn't do, and probably enforce stuff, and then that's not a good combination.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, just the fact that you were able to make it to the finals, I think, and have the opportunity to play Killian is definitely an incredible learning experience for Mark. So, I want to congratulate you. It was awesome to see and awesome to watch. There live. And one thing that I do want to talk about though, because we kind of skipped over it, was Sean Kerr. Your match against Sean Kerr, and you had some questionable calls there, Mark, and in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, and that was something, Mark.
I was worried that I was going to have to escort you out and be your body at one point. But that was an incredible match, Mark.
Any comments?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I like that actually out of you.
We'll leave it at that. I just, in front of the home crowd, that wasn't the savviest I've seen out of you, but very confident to know that you do have two bodyguards there between myself and John Bike. So
if you just a little heads up, if you play Lucho this year in Mexico, these antics, let's not. That's all I'll say. Because me and Ryan might not be there.
I won't be in Juarez.
And I'm TBD, but just a heads up, Mark.
Yeah. So you'll have to seek protection out elsewhere.
Have some feel. Yeah. Two bounces. I saw it.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to throw that in there too and give props to Sean Kerr because he played really, really well against you, Mark. I thought
He's fun to watch.
Yeah, that was a tremendous match between the two of you. So, I think that kind of sums up the men's bracket there at the Mick Kerr Memorial. Congrats to Killian Carroll. Hopefully we see him at another event here this year, whether it's the Nationals or, hopefully at a WPH event. But, John, do you want to kind of touch on the women's draw that we saw there in Bracky?
Yeah, I will talk about it. One thing is that on Saturday when we were playing at Bracky, Mark, it was Greencastle, right? Is where they were?
Greencastle. Yeah.
The women were at Greencastle, and so we didn't see them at Bracky. And then by the time that we ended up having to leave on Sunday, we didn't see them. But on Sunday, the semifinals and finals took place for the women's. In the top part of the bracket, we had Sienna and Molly Dagg, and Sienna ended up winning that one 15-12, 15-8. I remember watching that one, and I believe Molly had a big lead in the first game. Is that Mark, were you there watching? Were you there that time yet or no?
Yeah, I was there. I seen some of the first game.
I thought she had a big lead.
Yeah, Sienna Molly led like 9-0, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a great comeback for Sienna, and she ended up winning that one in two, 15-12, 15-8. And on the bottom side, you had Alicia and Fiona. And for all the handball viewers out there that have watched them play, we know that they play a lot, and their matches are always very intense and pretty fiery. And Fiona ended up winning that one in a tiebreaker, 11-2. And then so that set up the final with Sienna and Fiona. And this took place before Mark's match in the final on Sunday. And that was another tiebreaker. And Sienna ended up, she lost the first 8-15, but then won the next two, 15-11, 11-1, and won the Mick Kerr Memorial on the women's side. And it was a great feel for the women as well.
Yeah, I thought, obviously Mark touched on the hospitality that was just so great at that Mick Kerr Memorial, but the draws both on the women's and the men's side were really, really cool to see. And it just shows that, handball is growing there in Ireland, and it certainly is alive and well. And so that just another quick shout out to the Kerr family for hosting that tournament. Just such a tremendous time there. And congrats to, like I said, Killian Carroll and Sienna for winning the Mick Kerr Memorial. So with that being said, John, on this itinerary, I am seeing two topics here. Love is dead.
Yep.
Love is back.
Love is back. Well, people who know me, I'm pretty much chronically online, so I spend my time just on TikTok and on X, the Everything app, just trying to get as much information as I can to become as well-rounded as an individual as possible. And so in doing this, with this research, you kind of become in the know of all these pop culture, these celebrity Dancing with the Stars information and all these details. And unfortunately, this is old news now, but we have Alex Earl and Braxton Berrios broke up after being together for 2 years. She went on Dancing with the Stars, and honestly, I think she outgrew him, as she just was outshining him. And it was just, sometimes people fall apart. No, not fall apart, but fade away from each other. Not fall apart. They do that too, but this is not that scenario. But yeah, they ended up breaking up, and I see that, and it's like, you know what? Love is dead. Love is dead. Love is dead. And it's sad because, you want to believe in something always. So with that said though, and I wish we broke this news as it happened, but since then, at a party, we've seen Alex Earl with Tom Brady hanging out at one of those, those celebrity super billionaire parties. And there was a big public reaction, but I know my reaction was, I think for both sides, was just, hell yeah. Maybe that's not right, because Tom, who knows? But I saw that and I was like, maybe love is back. Tom Brady, Alex Earl, why not? And Mark, you don't have to talk about this because I know you don't consume any media whatsoever other than handball, so that's okay. Ryan, I don't know if you're in the know about this at all, but any thoughts?
I'm not too in the know, but you've kept me in the know. I think that video of Tom Brady there and Alex Earl surfaced the internet when we were in County Tyrone, and not too many thoughts on it, John. I
was all for it. I was like, hell yeah! Come on, it's Tom Brady, and it's Alex Earl. Why not? I think a lot of people agree. And people that don't agree, I like to talk to them just to hear some thoughts, because I'm always open to people's thoughts on things.
Yeah, well, if anyone has concerns or questions about this topic, for that matter, go ahead and DM JohnBike37 on Instagram, and you guys can duke it out there.
Yeah, reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation with anyone that would like to talk about this. Really, I want to be as well rounded as I can, and that's part of it.
Riveting topic here, John.
Thank you.
Really happy we spoke about this.
Some of our listeners will appreciate. They will only listen for this part, and they will go after this. So thank you to those that stayed.
Yeah. Well, for those that have stayed, we want to thank you for listening to Off the Back Wall here. And we have a little bit of a treat for you, for those that have stayed on this podcast. We're going to go ahead and cut to an interview with none other than Naty Alvarado Jr., El Tigre, one of the greatest handball players of all time, and certainly such a student of the game. His knowledge for the game of handball is what seems sort of infinite, and so we had the chance to catch up with him and chat with him for a bit. So we're going to go ahead and cut to that right now. And here is Naty Jr. Folks, before we get into that interview with Naty Jr., real quick, I wanted to take a moment to shout out our sponsors. Thank you to Digiflex Solutions for sponsoring the Off the Backwall podcast. Last episode, we teamed up with Digiflex to give away a custom jersey, and there's still time to enter. We will be announcing the winner 1 week from this episode's release. That's 1 week from whenever this episode comes out. So be sure to get your entry in on WPH Live Instagram and check out Digiflex Solutions for all of your apparel printing and customization needs. Thank you to Digiflex. Lastly, we want to thank the World Players of Handball for sponsoring this podcast. The WPH does an incredible job with the effort in creating an atmosphere for professional handball players to thrive in. Make sure to check out their Patreon for exclusive access, footage, and much, much more at patreon.com/WPHLive. That's patreon.com/WPHLive. Thank you all for listening. And now here's Naty Alvarado Jr. The man, the myth, the legend, Naty Alvarado Jr. Naty, thank you so much for joining us today. I know you're a really busy man between, obviously work and the golf course and now the handball court. You're back in the handball court. So we'll talk more about that later, but thank you so much for joining us. It's really a pleasure to have you on. How are you feeling today, Naty?
Well, first, very, what's the word, flattered. Thank you very much. I've been following your two podcasts now. You guys have two?
We have two.
Two. I think it's awesome. So I was like hopeful to get invited. And now that I did, now I'm like, I wish I hadn't gotten invited. So let's see how it goes.
Well, you're the first guest ever, so this is a big honor.
Hey,
yeah.
Cool. Okay, I'll go with that. Love that.
It's a big moment in off the BACKWALL history, and we're glad that it's you to kind of welcome in this new segment of our podcast of having guests on. So, really, really stoked that you're here. And John, I mean, I know that we have some questions prepared between myself, Mark, and John. But John, I think you want to kick it off, right? Obviously, it's your uncle, so you should do the honors.
Yeah, it's my uncle. Naty, how's it going? I'm really glad you're here. And
Thank you.
And I'm glad that you're in the court playing a little bit too, or you've been throwing the ball around. How do you feel? How are you feeling?
So that initial, what is it, the first 3 or 4 minutes, you're like, what are you doing? This is such a bad idea. And then you get going a little bit and then you start hitting some shots. You're like, okay, it's not so bad. I felt way better the first day, like I told you guys on a little group chat. And then second day thereafter, I was like, this is miserable. For some reason, like the back of your, what are these? Your
like a tricep? Yeah.
Yeah, just on fire. Couldn't even throw the ball. But then, again, 20 minutes later, then you're fine. So it's just a matter of reconditioning that muscle. That's all it is. It's going to take some time, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely. You took a pretty long while off. I know in the last few years you've played a little bit and then you've kind of gotten some lingering issues with your elbow and your knees. So it's kind of just getting back into it and kind of getting into a consistent routine is probably what you're trying to do. And it's hard, but that's kind of the goal right now, right? It seems.
Yeah, no, you hit it on the head, Johnny. So it's like was it 2 years ago? I mean, I forget exactly when, but I was flying on the court. I was having so much fun.
Yeah.
Taking care of Waddy, like he's only getting like 3 or 4 points going to I knew he'll say, what are you talking about? But
yeah.
I was just feeling really good. And then something happened with my left elbow and it just shut me down. It's like, that's, it's either I like to rest injuries. I've always done that throughout my career. And I think that's why I was able to play for such a long period of time is just because once something hurt enough to where it would bother me, I'd say, okay, we're going to take a break, a long break. And I took a lot of long breaks. That's like the smartest thing I ever did, I think. Yeah,
definitely. That's one thing I've noticed in my short career is like, handball, and because you know better than anyone how long you play, like just how grueling it is on your body. Like when you play for a long time, there's just so many things that can happen with your shoulders, your elbows, your knees. Like it's a brutal sport to play on your body. It's probably one of the most all around workouts that you can get. And if you play forever, you're gonna be feeling it for a long time. So those breaks are so necessary. And it's tough because like for players that play 4-wall and that play 3-wall, like it's just kind of a year round schedule. And it's hard to find that time to break because you're taking a break. You're like, what? I don't want to lose where I'm at right now. But you kind of got to take those breaks. And that's probably one thing that you probably noticed.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up 3-wall because that's just something I rarely ever did. And I think it was mainly because my dad said, don't. It's one of those, it's brutal. But if you topple this, 4-wall with 3-wall, I mean, I call you're asking for it. I mean, it's 3-wall's tough. You guys are super tough to play that.
It probably extended your career by at least 5 years by not playing 3-wall because 3-wall is just so grueling. Like because it's a strength and power game, and you're swinging so much harder on so many shots, and it's long rallies. You're hitting from 50, 60 feet away, and you're playing on concrete, so it's not good on your knees. It's just it's a recipe for injuries.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll learn, but not yet. But I'll learn.
No, I tell you what, I'm not going to knock thru wall because thru wall is awesome to watch, and I'll leave it at that. I just would rather not play. It's a beautiful sport. It really extends the dimensions of handball, and it shows like a different level of poetry of handball. It's really beautiful to watch. So I'm not
definitely. Yeah, I know there's pros and cons to it for sure. And one thing I learned or I've noticed is like when you go from playing three wall season to four wall, like you pick up things and shots, and you get stronger too with both hands, and you pick up things and ideas, and you can transfer it over to the four wall. So it adds another thing, but there's cons. It's hard on your body, hard on your elbows, your joints, and all. But it's kind of trying to find an even flow between the two games. And so like we're saying, and like Mark, go ahead.
So, Naty, I have a question for you. You talk about your long career. I suppose you wouldn't put that completely down just to not playing three wall. And what I'd like to know is, and probably some listeners are the same, what other things did you do that you think create that longevity in your career? Like, did you work out, or like what did your weeks look like when you were training? Was it just handball? What way did you kind of structure it?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and I'm still doing it today, Mark. So I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the key. I think even if you're not playing sports, you have to get up in the morning. You have to either go for a run, stretch, lift some weights, eat right. I mean, but all those things, you have to do them all together, I think. And so there isn't a morning I get up where I'm not, like, I'm here in my garage now, which thanks to COVID, I converted into a home gym, and it's pretty elaborate. And this was the smartest thing that I've ever done, because I can work out at any point of the day that I want. And then there's moments when I can say, well, I'll just get to it later. And then, of course, I don't. But my point to that question, Mark, is I always got up early to train specifically for handball. I tried to make sure that I engaged the entire body. But I think the best way to answer this question is a lot of stretching. You know, the game in itself is, like Johnny was saying, it's brutal. It's really like trapping joints. Tendons are getting frayed. So anything you can do to open your body back up a day after, immediately thereafter, playing a handball match was key for me. I know that I did that post pre. You know, when we had 3 matches back in the day in the same day. I mean, I think I showered 5 or 6 times. I used to keep track how many showers I'd take at pro stops. And I would always laugh, and people would laugh, like, what are you doing that for? But I'd see other guys who wouldn't shower, and like, well, there's a reason. You smell, I don't. But yeah, no. So yeah, it's really, it's a full circle of, you know, from waking up, Mark, to going to bed, and just repeating that cycle of making sure you're conditioning your body every day.
Yeah, I think sometimes, like, handballers probably don't take the same professionalism. Like, some people tend to just kind of get away with it because they're just so skillful. But if you look at like Killian and Martin, Brady, those guys yourself that were successful for so long, and those are like you've Ray as well. None of those guys leave any stone unturned, really, like in their preparation. And
100%.
I think that is key for any young players out there.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's we can crush this all we want, but I mean, it's to me, I'm going to tell you right now, for the juniors that are playing, you know, I know that some of them it's not their sport just yet, but you know, the ones that are elevating the game quickly, you know, the parents. Here's one of the things I really admire about Ray. You can see when he's playing, I think his father's watching him all the time, but you know, I don't know what drives Ray, but it seems like Ray's driving himself. So you have to be driven by yourself, because if someone's telling you to do something, you generally you back off a little bit. So it's got to be in you. It's got to be something you want to do.
Yeah, people tend to not listen to their parents. They kind of just do the opposite. And I've definitely done that a few times in my life. Still do it today. But you're 100% right. You have to want to play handball, because it's a tough game, and it's it's rewarding. It's also not rewarding sometimes. So it's like you just got to find that that level headspace. Like I want to do this. And I love doing this. So you have to want to do it. And if you don't, then it's probably not going to last that long, I would say.
Agree, John. It's perfect. Perfect.
So now that obviously you played on the pro tour for so long, and then you've been done now. What was your last term with WPH? Was it 2016, 17 maybe?
I think
Ish?
17 might have been a senior event, but last pro level match, I
Yeah.
don't remember.
It was probably Portland.
Sean Lennon in the first round or something like that. I was like, that's enough. I can't.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so here's I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, why did I stop? Okay, funny story. I was in Stater Brothers this morning. Ran into a guy from church, started talking about everything, life and whatnot. So he's still playing handball. And then I said, no, because, we didn't have handball players. Now we have handball players in the high desert.
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot easier to come back because we have more than just one guy playing now. So
yeah,
big difference back then.
That's an underrated part that people don't think about either, is like just having players to play. And like you were, it's up here. If no one's playing, you're an hour to 2 hours away from the nearest next players you can play at that level. So it's like, and that's a grind. Like you're working, and to drive down there on a weeknight, weekends. It's like, and you have free. There's just other things that go. You have your family and all. It's just, it's a tough. It's a grind. It really is a grind if you want to do it. And you did it for so long. It makes sense. Why I was like, it's good. I'm good, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was no. I mean, it would have been
I know.
practicing, and that was it. And it was just like I said, it was like I wasn't going to drive to LA or Diamond Bar or Anaheim to go get matches. I was trying that, but it just got kind of like, okay, what am I doing this for?
It's not sustainable. No. So now, since I would say this is probably true, is that I started playing in 2022. That's kind of probably when you started watching the game again, you would say, right?
Oh yeah.
So based on these last few years, do you have a favorite player that you like to watch, or a player's game that you're like, wow, or like, I never thought about playing like that, or just someone that you like watching right now?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, like back then when I was playing, I enjoyed watching everybody play. I mean, I didn't watch a lot of matches, was one of my shortcomings for sure. But I like all you guys. It's fun. Mark has some great shots with his little short punches that he hits in the front corners.
Yeah.
I love Ryan's energy. It's fun to watch, him go crazy, and it's kind of like it's mini crit. It's just funny that you carry some of your genetics, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Your DNA through your yeah. Come on. I've heard that for a long time. And then, with you, Johnny, you have so much power, and reminiscent of your dad. You guys have like the same ball pop when it hits the front wall. I mean, I could go on. I mean, it's just like guys like Killian, who seem to track every ball down.
Yeah.
Two-handed offense, defense. And then, of course, Ray's fun to watch because you think he's never going to get tired. I don't know if he does.
We're still trying to find out. We're in the process of. And then we're in the process of tiring him out.
And then you got Ball Machine Martin, man. That guy just hits every shot all the time when he needs to.
Yeah.
So he's like a Chapman with two hands and some power and some speed. The game's evolving. That's the good news.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely is evolving. With that evolution and with the ball changing, have you noticed any differences in like players' playing style? Like, when you started playing, was it more of a defensive game versus? Because I know the ball was slower. You played with the old slow ball, right?
Yeah.
And was it more of a defensive game then?
Chapman made it.
Yeah.
He was, that first 10 or 12 years when he was, completely focused on just being the best.
Yeah.
And, I think the ball was a little bit heavier. It was just, I know they say it's not the same dimension, same weight, but the ball just felt heavier. I felt like that ball that we played with would stay down better.
Mm-hmm.
I think the ball you guys play with now just stays up more. It's not because you're harder. I mean, I'm not saying that you guys aren't. Maybe you are, but I don't think you are. I just think that ball's lively.
Yeah, it's very lively.
Yeah, and so I think there's like I'm not happy with that ball because there were some shots, if you put it down, it would stay down and route in. But then, some people like long volleys and some guys play better that way. It's 50-50. I'm not sure.
No, I totally. And that's actually one thing that in the last few weeks, ever since me and Ryan's trip to Ireland, and we played in the Mick Kerr Memorial, and I've been talking to Mark about this, and it's like, I know that there's been some like transition, Americans going over to play in Ireland, the Irish come over here to play, and just the balls. And one thing I've been talking to with Mark is like, I actually kind of like how the Irish ball was playing up in Bracky, because it's a fast courts up there. And we're saying like, it's a good combination. Like when you had a good ball and those are good courts, like it played pretty fair. And it was a good mix of offensive and defensive shots. Like you could get in defensive rallies, you could still play aggressive, and you could pass it by people. You could hit hops and all. It felt like more of a neutral game, and it wasn't like, let's say there was like a pendulum. Like it was pretty neutral because like the 21's like very fast, and it's not a very defensive game. And the Irish ball on a cold court is probably too slow. Like Mark, you're the one that's played with on a cold court with that ball, and it's just not offensive at all. It's not fun to hit a serve, right?
No, it would be slow depending on the court if it's not heated, and it's definitely slower and not really offensive at all. Like you're serving probably like your second serving a lot, and even your ceiling shots you have to hit them really hard to get them deep. But
Yeah.
in Bracky or Kings Court, Crow Park, those alleys that are heated, I would say it's a pretty neutral game. Yeah.
And Naty, you went over in 2012, and did you go over in '94 too, or what was the what was?
94 was our first visit. I played with my dad.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was cool to do, but I feel bad for him because I wasn't very good. But we had fun nonetheless. I mean, we were there, I think, 10 days. Your mother, my sister, was there with us. My dad. So, we didn't do well on the court, but we did well in the pubs.
Good. And that's equally as important when you make a trip over there. That's
and it was with my dad. It was pretty lovely. It was a really good time.
Yeah,
I don't know, my favorite trips actually.
Definitely. No, I think going over there is awesome. I think that the crowds, they really get into it, and you can tell that they care and like they're focused on the match, and that's just another like really important factor. It's like it feels important when the crowd's locked in and you can tell they're watching and they're rewarding good shots, and that's something that I've noticed over there. Maybe it was just that at Bracky at the Mick Kerr Memorial, but like, I thought the crowd was spectacular. And when you have a really good crowd, like it makes the match 10 times better or whatever. Like I don't know if there's a number on it, but it's like do you have like a favorite? So that brings me to my next question is like maybe one of your biggest matches. What's like your favorite crowd or environment you have to play in over your career? You had a long career, a lot of big matches. Do you have a favorite crowd that you remember that was like, this is awesome?
I get that question a lot, but never about my favorite crowd. That's kind of funny you say that because, so here's my answer. I would never focus in on the crowd. Once I closed the door, if I was paying attention to someone in the crowd or something about the crowd, that means I was just in the wrong space. And it's happened. I remember some matches where I was just like thinking about, it's a funny story, Houston. So back in Houston, it's a long story. I hope you guys edit this.
Is that the old Y?
Yeah, the old Y.
Yeah.
Great court, fast court. But there was a guy named John Egbert. He was a lawyer. And so he would set a line. So, games were 11. So it's kind of interesting. He would say, to give Chapman's -3 or I'm plus whatever. So that got distracting because guys were betting. The players were betting. Fans were betting. And then you found out like, you were a +5 in this game. So it got annoying. But then, that's a distraction. So my point to that is probably the worst thing I could have done is paid attention.
Yeah.
And so I'd say the majority of the time I wasn't paying attention. I really never thought about the crowd. I was just really trying to make sure I focused on what shots were working, what wasn't working. And I don't think I did that enough either. But my point is, block the crowd out no matter what.
That's a good, I should think about that because I probably do sometimes. I'm probably not alone, but like sometimes you think about things you're not supposed to think about when you're playing, and that can change the result of the match. So staying in that locked in focus mindset is definitely important.
Yeah.
And another thing, so I'm going to ask this now because you just touched on it, was the games to 11. That was with the PHA, right? Where you guys did best of 7 to 11. There was like a season you guys did something like that, right?
Yeah, I think the PHA did it, but I even thought the USHA did it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they did it. It would have been there because I remember Vern wasn't really happy. Vern Roberts. Good executive director for the USHA, but I think, he didn't like that concept because, there's people betting. And the players that weren't playing at the time, they were betting. So you can see how you could dilute the water a little bit if, someone on the court knew what was going on. And remember, this wasn't $1,000 bet. It was like a $5 bet max. But it's still, it's gambling, sports, players involved. So, I get it.
What do you think about the games of 11 though, compared to 15 or 21? And like, it was best of 7. So it's kind of a different match.
Yeah. It was 3 out of 5 to 11.
3 out of 5. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. 3 out of 5 to 11. And I thought it was more exciting. The matches seemed to, every point mattered. You could go down 2 games nil, and then all of a sudden you're back in it. You force the 5th game. So that's kind of good drama. 15 is probably a good medium. 21 is just too long, I still think.
21 is long. It's long.
It's too long.
I used to think that like it had to be 21, and then as I've been playing over like the last 4 years, it's like 15 is good for pro stops because like the matches that are like there's gonna be some quick matches, but those were gonna be quick to 21 too. So that extra added time is kind of just dead points when it's not gonna change that much. But whereas like I think for like a national title or for a world title, I think it should be 21. I think it should be a full match. That's kind of where I stand now. I wonder if more Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. It is. I don't know. We're just used to playing 15s. Then when you get to like a collegiate nationals, kind of just feels more. I don't know, is prestigious even the right word? It just feels like the tournament matters more a little bit when it goes to 21. I'm not sure it's probably just the nature of what tournaments are played to 21. If
True.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah. Yes.
I don't want to change what we're talking about, but I want to make sure that Mark stays awake. I mean,
I know.
Mark, Ireland now?
Say that again?
Are you in Ireland? Sorry.
No, I'm in Mankato.
Okay, well, okay. So I just want to make sure we weren't on.
No, I know. I'm sorry about him. You know, he it's hard to get him to get up for anything. So the fact that he's made it this long he might have yawned once or twice. So that's a good point that you're making right now because no, it's okay. It's okay because he's falling asleep. But we talked about how 2 years ago you would come back in the court and you're getting back in the court. You're going to play. You tell me and Ryan, okay, meet us here this day at this time. Where I'm going to go play. I'll play you guys. And we're like, oh my god, this is awesome. This is a great story. So we're going to go play. We're going to play Naty Jr. This is awesome. It's like, oh my god, this is we're lucky we get to do that. A lot of people will never get to do that, and we do it. And so we get there, and it's just you and me. I'm like, where's Ryan? Where's Ryan? I'm texting Ryan. I'm getting nothing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was like the second time about to play, and then I got to play you singles. I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah. No, I was getting nothing back from Ryan. And I called Chris. I called Ryan's like, Chris. No, I texted him. I was like, is Ryan okay? He's like, yeah. I was like, where is he? He was sleeping. He was sleeping at home. Ryan, are you here?
Yeah, I'm right here.
What did your dad say?
Horrible.
I think he, if I remember correctly, because this is a couple of years now, he woke me up and he says, "Were you supposed to play handball 30 minutes ago?" And I was like, "Yeah." Or I think he said, "Were you supposed to be at Bear Valley Country Club 30 minutes ago?" And I was like, "What time?" And I was like groggy, just waking up. I was like, "What time is it?" And we were playing at 1 or something like that. He's like, "It's 1:45," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And so I wake up, I get my stuff together, and I call you up, and it was too late. So
yeah, I was already leaving the court. I already got killed like 3 games straight. Thanks, Ryan.
I was so excited to play Naty that I fell asleep. So sure. that's what happened. I was just too excited. So yeah, that settles that.
Okay. But then we said, I asked Naty. I said, "Hey Naty, you think Ryan would have overslept playing Paul Brady? You think he would have overslept that?" Exactly. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, well, I would have been there 2 hours before."
Yeah, well, we'll have to redo that because I haven't been able to get in the court with Naty since I fell asleep and overslept.
That was a one and done invite.
Sorry, it's all Mark's fault. Sorry, Mark.
Yeah, if Mark wouldn't have yawned, then we wouldn't have got down this rabbit hole.
Stay awake, Johnny.
I know it's tough. I know I know where he is right now. He's in our apartment in Mankato, and he's just on the couch. It's very easy to just like probably fall asleep right there. It's just
What's the tempo for him?
Yeah, good question, Mark. What's the temperature?
Do you want it in Celsius or Fahrenheit?
I'll be Fahrenheit.
Please.
Fahrenheit. It's I think it's 7 Fahrenheit.
Oh my gosh.
So it's -8 with the wind chill.
Oh, no wonder you're sleepy. Sorry.
Mark, can you go outside for us real quick and just give us a live broadcast from outside and just kind of a live temp?
I can actually feel. I'm close to being outside, and I can feel through the door. I can feel the draft.
I think you got on pants, Johnny.
Naty, I was curious, so I looked, and on Friday it's going to be the high in Mankato. The high is -8. The high, and that's like with no wind chill. So that's the high. Sorry, so man. People ask me, "Do you miss it?" I'm like, "I miss the handball. I miss the handball." They're like, "No, do you miss Mankato?" I was like, "No, I miss the handball for sure."
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's going to be 70 here today, I think, right? We just recorded for ball. You got 45 minutes, and I was on my parents' balcony upstairs in the sun,
and I had to come inside because it was too hot. So it was like sunny. It was sunny and hot. My computer was overheating. I'm pretty lucky though to be able to like that it's hot here. We are very blessed here with the weather. So
Sorry, Mark. I wasn't trying to rub it in. Just wanted
Oh,
God, love sunny SoCal, don't we? It's just the best.
Well, as the guy kind of steering this podcast, I do think that it is the best use of our time to have Naty Jr. on the podcast. One of the greatest handball players ever, to talk about the weather in Mankato and in Southern California. So good going, guys. That's a really, really good use of our time.
You can cut it out.
Naty Jr.
Take it easy.
Yeah. Well, Mark, John. Well, first, John, did you get all the questions that you wanted to ask? I mean, I know
I asked most of the questions. Yeah, I have one more, but if you have a bunch of questions, if you have something to ask him, because it looks like we got about 10 minutes left.
Oh,
well, I want to make sure Mark can do his rapid fire, and I want to make sure I only have one question to ask
Okay.
Naty, so go ahead.
I'm good with questions. I talk to Naty all the time, so I'm good.
Okay. Well, Mark, go ahead and ask your rapid fire questions then.
I wrote the rapid fire for you actually to ask it, Ryan.
Oh.
So you don't want to
I can read it. I can read it.
Okay, go ahead, John. Do the
I can
rapid
do
fire.
Naty, and I'm going to ask you.
Or no, let's do the rapid fire first, because I already know Naty's response to the question I have. And
Okay.
We'll end it off that way.
You're going to get about 5 seconds, just whatever comes ahead with these questions, okay?
Okay.
All right, we got Naty Jr., rapid fire. Naty, favorite food?
Sushi.
Favorite all-sport athlete, so any athlete. Favorite athlete?
Bo
Jackson? Okay. Favorite travel spot?
Ooh, man, that's a toughie. Laguna.
Great one. That's a good one. SoCal, that's a little nut right there. That's great. Weights or cardio?
Oh, man. God, weights. Can I do
Good answer. You can you can't say both.
I'll go with weights.
Okay. Favorite beer?
Woo! Man, that's not fair. Rude. So rude.
Clock's ticking.
All right. I go with but God.
It's got to be Michelob Ultra.
It's Ballast Point. I know it. Just say it.
Hold on. There's about 150 Michelob Ultras sitting in my parents' garage fridge right now, and the only person that drinks them is you, Naty. So it has to be that.
Well, that's only to survive a marathon day in your backyard. That's the only reason those are required. But I like, and I will always like, and Johnny, you should know this, a perfectly poured Guinness.
Oh, that's true. That's true. He was very jealous of the pictures that I was sending. That's true. Okay, but we're back to the rapid fire. Any pre-game superstitions before a match?
No.
Okay. Next question. Biggest ever win or favorite win?
Oh my gosh. Fair enough. The first time I ever qualified in Iowa, which would have been 92.
Yeah.
Only because the first time I ever qualified. But I mean, there's other bigger matches that, but that was key as an individual. But obviously doubles would have been that win against Rod Prince and Doug Glatt in 92 for the open doubles with Chatboy.
Nice. Okay, next question. Favorite sport to watch outside of handball?
Man, I hate to say it's golf. Weird, I know.
Oh, that's a great sport to watch. I'm with you here. Favorite song?
That varies. But favorite song. I know I'm on the clock. What is my favorite song? Oh no. Well, Suavemente is probably the best dance song for me.
Okay. I like that. And then last question. Sunday morning finals or Saturday night finals?
Saturday night final is the only way to do it.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Okay, and that's great. And that's rapid fire questions with Naty Jr. Thanks, Naty.
You're welcome.
Well done there, Naty. We loved all the answers. Thanks. Just quickly want to thank you again for coming on and talking with us on this Martin Luther King Jr. Day. That's when we were recording this podcast episode. But Naty, I've got at least one question for you, one that comes to mind and potentially another. But, earlier in this podcast, John and I had a talk about, the Southern California Handball League. And I'm kind of on this recruiting tour to try to get the best players possible for Team LAC. Just yes or no answer. It doesn't have to be right now, although I prefer it to be right now. But will you play for Team LAC this Southern California Handball League season?
Oh, man. Isn't that funny that I'm wearing the crest today, too? So it's kind of funny. I will consider it. as long as let me fix one of my answers. But yeah, Ryan, that's a great question. I saw something pop up on an email, and I thought that'd be kind of cool to commit to something, finally. But let's just see if I can get through the actual playing part here in the next couple of weeks against other people. Because I'm actually
I'll drive with you. I'll drive with you.
Okay, there's that. We got a commuter special.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Well, that's big news, because earlier we had a pretty big signing to our team of John Alvarado Bike, and now we've got a tentative signing, I guess, with Naty Alvarado Jr. So that's good to hear. And that kind of leads me into another question that I didn't really have in mind till now. I'm just going to go ahead and register you for the 40s at the LAC Pro Stop. Sound good?
Is that a question or is that just a statement?
That's a statement.
I think it's just I think the sound good part's a question, but I don't really care if it does sound good or not.
I'm probably not there yet, because I think that tournament is when?
In March.
It's when you're...
Go ahead, John.
I know where he's going to be.
No, I mean,
late March.
No one's talked about heading back to Circa, so that's still, I could still book that. But as long as I get to change my answer. But yeah, I'll probably won't be ready, Ryan, but I'll give it a try.
Which question do you want to change the answer to?
Yeah,
Sorry, that doubles win was only my favorite doubles win because it was the first time I won a national title with Chapman. But there was other bigger wins as a doubles teammate with your dad and Naty at the U.S. Open. So those are probably my three favorite doubles wins. But those first wins, for reasons, or to get you over the hump, those are big matches.
For sure.
Yeah. Well. So I have two more things, Naty. One,
you got 3 minutes.
You mentioned your best atmosphere. I don't know how the answer is not Simple Green U.S. Open in front of your 50-person family that are all in the crowd watching you. To me, I feel like that's that has to be the best atmosphere for you to play in, when you've got your children, your wife, your grandparents, your in-laws, everybody. Everyone's there to come watch Naty Alvarado Jr. play. So I'm going to go ahead and answer that one for you. And lastly, the one thing that I know everybody wants to know this, but I really want to know this. A little bit of controversy here, but did you rehearse the celebratory dance move you did after beating Paul Brady at the KCL Cup? Did you rehearse that in the mirror? It kind of looked like that was something that you knew you were going to do before you had beat him.
No, heck no. That's those, you'll rarely see me celebrate anything, and Johnny will attest to that. If I make a birdie on a hole, I'll just say thank you if the guys say something like great birdie or something, or great double bogey, or whatever. But no, that's just, there's a few celebrations you'll catch, and I think that was one of them. Like, I wish I hadn't have done it, but for the moment, and how things were going that day, and how what we all thought was going to be a cool thing, but it turned out it wasn't. But no, that's not rehearsed, Ryan. You know that.
Well, I think it was an incredible thing. I really liked it, actually. It's one of my favorite handball moments ever.
And it is incredible.
I'm being completely serious here.
No. It was cool. A little fadeaway killer from the deep.
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah.
That was sick. John, what did you want to say?
I was going to add, I know that Naty's telling the truth about being locked in, because he's still locked in. When he's playing golf, he's very focused. I think we play together either once or twice a month, and we play together 18 holes. He probably watches 3 of my shots total the whole time. Probably 3, and we're talking for hours, and he probably watches 3 or 4 of my shots the whole time. He just doesn't even watch. He's just nope, locked in. I get you. I should probably do that too.
You swing the ball so hard, I just don't want to get caught up hitting the ball that hard.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Well, one thing, John, you mentioned you guys play golf twice a month, and I do live pretty close to you, so I'm still waiting for that invite. But anyways,
I'm not sure you're going to wake up, Ryan. We're just
yeah, true. It's he's snoring.
Yeah. Well, that's not one of my most proud moments, but if I ever get the chance to get in the court again with you, Naty, that won't happen. So, Naty, thanks again for jumping on and answering a couple questions, getting in the hot seat there for some rapid fire questions, and just kind of giving us some insight into what it looks like being, one of handball's greatest champions. So really appreciate your time, and thanks for being our very first guest on the podcast. Really exciting to have, you as our first guest.
I appreciate that. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Naty.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Naty.
Yep.
And we're back. Thank you again to Naty Jr. for hopping on and kind of discussing us, John. And thanks for setting that up there. I mean, I know it's pretty easy when you can just phone a friend, give a call to your uncle, who is also one of the greatest players of all time, and hopefully we can continue to go along your family line and get some of the other members of your family, like obviously your father and your grandfather, Naty Alvarado Sr., and
my mom,
possibly even your mom, and maybe your aunt Adriana Morton, formerly Adriana Alvarado, who defeated Sean Lenning at the age of, what was it, 15 years old?
I'm not sure. I think it was younger though, but I would say the opportunity is endless for who we could get on this podcast in my family. So
yeah, and more than that too. If the viewers out there, or listeners rather, if you guys want us to get someone on to interview, please let us know, because we definitely want to continue this interview series. If we can at least do it once an episode, and get someone on and kind of share some insight into what they have to offer. So thanks again to Naty Jr. And with that being said, we'll move on to the next topic in the podcast, which is some controversy going on in the Southern California Handball League. This is a really, really cool initiative that goes on in Southern California, where members from the LA Athletic Club come together versus LA Fire Department versus a couple other cities around Southern California, and it's turned out to be pretty cool. You get a lot of players that play in it from Southern California. Obviously, Vic Perez, Stephen Cooney, Armando Ortiz, who I know I'm missing a ton. Coleman McGrath, Dylan Hernandez, Ricardo Palma, yourself, John.
Yep.
And that's kind of what we wanted to talk today is, a lot of people want John. John's pretty much a free agent in this Southern California Handball League. And so,
yep.
Today is kind of I thought that I could give you my pitch as to why you should play with Team LAAC. So,
okay, I'm all ears. My agent's on the line too, so we'll just we'll go from there.
Yeah. So, I think you should play for Team LAAC because we're boys.
Yeah,
I
we are
play
boys.
for Team LAAC, and you've definitely come to the club a lot and have been able to use the facilities, and we've essentially treated you like a member there. So I think that it makes the most sense for you to kind of join Team LAC, aside myself and Stephen Cooney and Mondo Ortiz and Rafa Martinez, to take on the Southern California Handball League. What do you think?
I agree with everything you've said. It's not necessarily the closest team to me. Norco's a little closer, but unfortunately I was never reached out to play for them, or LAFT can't play because I'm not a firefighter. So that leaves LAC and Alhambra, and LAC was the first one to ring, so I picked up the call. And but it's a far drive. I got a job, so I'm just me and my agent were talking, and we come up with an idea that if I do play for LAC and I win every match, then the LAC will be sponsoring my membership for a year. And we've actually come up with that as our first offer.
Is your first offer? Okay, well, I don't believe that we'll be able to give you a free membership for a year, but how about 2 free guest passes?
5
free guest passes. We have a deal.
And wait. Is that if I win every match?
No, that's just if you play on our team.
What if I win every match?
Okay, we'll give you 6 guest passes if you win every match.
And a free membership.
and a free T-shirt.
Will you validate parking?
Yeah, we'll make sure you get the parking validation in the parking garage.
You make a tough offer. Okay, I'm in.
All right, well, you heard it here first. John Alvarado Bike is headlining the Team Los Angeles Athletic Club for the upcoming Southern California Handball League. And for people around the country that have sort of a growing handball population, obviously in Tucson and St. Louis and Texas, and if you guys want to reach out and see how we run this league, it's pretty cool. We do one match a week. We do a singles match and 2 doubles matches each week, and we travel and go to each team's home club, and it's a really, really cool experience for those that can play in it. And you get a lot of matches, and we raise a little bit of money too as each each entry fee, I think, is like $25. And so it's a really, really fun initiative that we've been doing for the last couple years here. I mean, I know it used to go on a long time ago in Southern California, and we kind of picked it back up in 2022. So for those of you that have questions about how you can get started on your own league, or if you're in the Southern California area and want to join a team, feel free to reach out to either of us or Rafa Martinez, and you can get assigned to a team. So that's that. I'm glad we can clear that controversy up, John, because I was really worried.
One more question. Do you guys cover mileage?
Do we cover mileage?
Can I do a miles report, like a expense report?
You can get free hotel stays on my Futon.
Okay. All right. I'll probably still play. Okay,
deal. Good. Well, we already had it in writing anyway, so it doesn't really matter if you want add-ons at this point. But yeah, so that's good news. So look for the post about Team LAC to win the Southern California Handball League. Last year, LA Fire Department won. Vic Perez played amazing, and you had some of the old names like Toddy Silvera and John Libby, and some really, really great vintage players coming back to play in this. So it's just a great initiative, and we're really looking forward to this getting kicked off here in the next week. So with that being said, John, we want to kind of move on to the questions from the gallery. This is a new segment we're going to have on each show where, obviously you guys listen and you want answers. You have questions, you want answers, and we want to answer them. So, John, go ahead. I know that you kind of had a couple questions gathered there from the gallery. And so I turn it to you to ask the question, and we can go through and give our answer to them.
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah. So, like you said, questions from the gallery. And as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, I spend a lot of time on the internet and kind of scouring for content, things I can consume. And part of my content viewing period, my daily 8 hours of the day, I found this question. I found on Facebook. I found these questions. It had a picture of this 2010 the junior nationals draw, the 9 and under, and it says this draw has Ray Ure, Ryan Watkins, Dylan Schmidt, and Gabriella Bike. Who do you got winning it? And for those that are not familiar with the story, Ray Ure was the 1 seed, and my sister was the 8 seed, Gabriella Bike, and she ended up beating Ray 0-4 in the quarterfinals, and then defeated Alfred Vasquez 21-8, 21-5 to make the finals, where she met yourself, Ryan, after you beat Dylan Schmidt in the semis, 21-15, 21-8, and then you and Gabrielle played, and I believe she won in 2. Ryan?
Yeah. It doesn't really matter at this point. Yeah, she beat me. She was a couple years older than me, and
did you go on the age?
She got me. She beat me there in the finals. But
So the question is that one of the most impressive tournament victories when you look back at the names on paper? Maybe not impressive, but like surprised when you look at the names on paper for her. That's the question of that was from the gallery. Is this the most impressive surprise win in junior nationals history? And it's hard to argue. Well, it's hard to argue.
It doesn't come as a surprise to me that Gabby won. She, like I said, she was older than me, and which means she would have been at least a year older than Ray as well. So age is there, and junior handball, especially back then, all that mattered is how good is your lob serve to the left, to the opposite hand of your opponent. And if you can just lob serve to the opposite hand, you're going to win, and there's no doubt about that. So it doesn't surprise me that she beat Ray. I'm sure one way or another there was an Alvarado or Bike reffing that match, and there was probably a little bit of collusion there. But yeah, that was kind of the deal there with Gabby beating Ray. And then as far as as me, I just didn't have what it takes that day. Woke up wrong side of the bed, if I remember correctly, I wasn't feeling well, and my favorite song didn't play on the radio,
and it was just past Christmas, and you didn't get all the gifts you wanted, so you were just.
I was sad. My dad wouldn't let me eat more chocolate cake. The list goes on about how I wasn't feeling good, and it takes someone's A game to beat me, Well, back then it did. Now it doesn't. But it takes someone's A game to beat me, and Gabby certainly had her A game. So props to her. And I believe she retired shortly thereafter,
well,
right?
I was gonna say that win kind of it jump started her career, and this is gonna be a promising up and coming female player. And she kind of took and rode with that momentum to the next year's junior nationals, where she would play in the I believe it was the 11 under girls, and she made the final. You know, she's got all that. She's the current champion. She makes the finals, and then she met a young Alicia McQuarrie, and unfortunately, Alicia sent Gabby into retirement. I believe it was 21-0, 21-0, and it was not a good day for my sister. And unfortunately, she has not played handball since. So, yeah, you know, it's tough. But it was a promising career for about a year. It was like, wow, this is the future.
Yeah,
and
well,
it's gone.
I'm glad that I was able to kind of be on the precipice of that, promising career and kind of give her that. I'm all about giving people confidence, and if it means that I have to forfeit a match for someone to have some confidence, then I will absolutely do just that. And we saw that kind of happen, in the 2023 U.S. Nationals. I was playing an up-and-coming, wonderful player by the name of Mark Doyle, and I wanted him to have confidence for the rest of his career. So, I kind of decided to kind of take it easy on him. And that's what I want when it's all said and done. When we look back on, everyone talks about what's your legacy? What's your legacy? My legacy is going to be that I was a really good guy. That's what I want my legacy to be. I want to give people confidence.
I love the point you made, and you're, like what you're saying is 100% true. Like people, like you're doing what you got to do to help others when you play them, and you would think like with this act of kindness that the response, you wouldn't get a snide comment from Mark when the match ends. What was that comment he made to you again after you played him and you just want him to play as good as he can? You're trying, but you want him to have a successful tournament.
Exactly.
You play him, and it's your first time playing him too. You're like, wow, this is it's awesome to play Mark. He's a top player. I get to play him. Let's shake hands. What comment did he make to you after?
Mark, and I thought we were on good terms prior to this. I guess we weren't. Mark, he made a comment and said, go back to the A's after I played him. So he didn't really want to. I don't think he had anything for the comments or questions from the gallery, but Mark, feel free to chime in on that snarky comment you made to me after I was just trying to, congratulate you and wish you the best on the U.S. Nationals tournament. Go back to the A's is what you said, if I remember correctly.
That's funny because you actually remember incorrectly then. I said good luck in the A's because you were entered in both divisions that year, and I wanted to wish you best in the A's because I thought you had a real good chance. So you seem to pick
Did you just lie right there?
No, that is 100% the truth. Ryan heard the word A's and got all angry about it.
Someone give this guy a polygraph.
Yeah, he'd fail it, I guarantee it. Well, what was said doesn't really matter. It's more of the context behind it and the tone. Everyone wants to talk about the tone of voice and how much it matters. And I absolutely know that Mark was directing that in a very hostile way. And yeah, so, like I said, I'm all about legacy. I wanted Gabby to have the confidence to just, have a surge of a career, and I wanted Mark to do the same. And, I was talking with a bit of people there in Ireland talking about the Mick Kerr Memorial, and some people are, relating that Dermot Nash win to the confidence booster that you received when you played me in the Nationals, Mark. So just want to say credit is earned and it's certainly given. I make sure everyone gets credit around here, and yeah. So congrats to Gabby. Enough about me. Congrats to Gabby on her win. I think that was an impressive tournament win there.
Are you and Mark friends now, or is it still kind of choppy?
I mean, it's like sailing, John. When the wind picks up, it picks up, but when it calms down, it's calm.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah,
that's Ryan. That's really mature of you. After that comment he made too, it's really mature of you to take the what's the word? You're choosing love, and I appreciate that.
I just want to make sure everything's amicable between everybody. So, but yeah, enough about me. Let's go on to the next question from the gallery, John. What else do you have for us?
Our next question was from ULV baseball lover 0411. He had a question for you, Ryan, after hearing you talk about Ray. He said, Ryan, the question was for Ryan, and it said, is Ray Ure your favorite player? If so, why?
Is Ray Ure Ray Ure is one of my favorite players, certainly.
Okay.
I don't really have a singular favorite, but he's definitely one of them. I think that Ray, kind of looking at his career, he's someone that's just stuck with it, John, like, like for instance, you and I, we had our other sports and focused on baseball and kind of went away from handball for quite a while. But Ray's always just stuck with it. And he's won pretty much every junior nationals he's played in, except for obviously the one that Gabby stormed through to the victory. But, Ray's he's an incredible worker. He works really hard. And, he's somebody that I think over the next couple of years, like he won his first pro stop there in Tucson. I think that was long overdue, but it's definitely going to come, a lot more frequently now that I think he's kind of proven himself at that level and gotten himself over the hump. So yeah, Ray is a tremendous player. Tons of props to him, not just because he's one of our co-hosts, but also just because, I've got to know him well and he's a great player, certainly.
Yeah, no, I agree, Ryan. And thank you for answering the question. And always, listeners, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and we will answer them on the podcast. That's a new thing we're doing now. Questions from the gallery. If you got any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us on social media, on Snapchat, WhatsApp, for our Irish listeners. Ask a question anytime. And we'll get back to you on the next podcast.
John, there was actually one more question that I had gotten from I'm gonna keep them anonymous.
Okay.
But it's an older gentleman there at the athletic club, and he listened in. And big shout out to you. You know who you are. And we made in the very first episode, we made a couple jokes about what had happened in Tucson. And I don't mean to kick as they say, kick a dead horse. I think that's what they say.
Oh, beat a dead horse.
Beat a dead horse. But he was confused by what we meant. John Bike lost to a boxer. What does that mean? So, John, go ahead and just tell us for those listeners that didn't quite understand, what John Bike lost to a boxer may mean.
I thought we covered this pretty well the first time in the first episode, but I lost to Boxer Rosales, who was a former boxer, in 2 games, and it wasn't very close in Tucson.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say from that match?
I wish that the viewers would ask me these questions personally. So
he's a big fan of yours. He was just a little embarrassed and didn't want to approach you. So
people, I understand that feeling, but they shouldn't be embarrassed.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good. Glad we were able to cover that. And to you that asked that question, I hope that was enough. If not, we'll cover it again on the next episode, which I don't mind. I don't mind covering it again. So yeah. But without further ado, John, I think now we want to call in to our other co-host, not Mark Doyle, who has been here the whole time, just a little rather quiet today. But do we want to make a call in to our friend Ray Ure?
Yeah, I say we'll call him in.
Okay, let's give a call into Ray Ure. We want to talk about kind of recent tournaments that he's won. As that's what he does, is just win tournaments. And we want to get his take on, as he is a Chicago native, we want to get his take on the Caleb Williams and Chicago Bears loss last night to the Los Angeles Rams. So
let's not give too much away, but you're right. We'll talk about that with him.
Right. Yeah. Well, let's cue in Ray. Ray Ure, the new champion. Ray, you've been on this like world tour of winning. Well, maybe not world tour, but not international, domestic tour rather of winning. Tucson and Milwaukee, and now there's another one you can add to the belt. You want to talk about your most recent win, Ray?
Yeah. Well, okay. So one thing I feel like you're gassing me up a little bit too much here, but
never enough. Keep going.
Never.
But yeah, the Illinois State singles tournament just happened, and there was a good field between the Munson brothers. I was there, Matt Job, Dan Zakowski, and then a few other local Illinois people that are all good, all great players. But I was a little I was looking at this tournament originally as like, all right, there's going to be good competition. Have to stay low focused. I mean, Brian Trejo had to bow out for undisclosed reasons. Yeah,
HIPAA.
nothing actually serious, but
HIPAA violation. Don't say anything else.
Why don't we disclose them?
Well, no. I'm not gonna out him like that on to the world. I'm not gonna do that.
It is to the world.
But and then Mark had to bow out as well last second to focus on St. Louis in a couple weeks.
That's soft. What a soft thing for him to do.
The tournament went it went really well for me because I wasn't certain, like over winter break, kind of like took some downtime just to stay fresh so that the rest of the season I can be strong, and I ended up playing much cleaner than I was anticipating heading into the tournament, and honestly about as good as ever. With my my semifinal was probably, it was up there as a top 1 or 2 serving performance of all time for me. And then even if I wasn't getting even if the serve wasn't getting the point, then the next shot would get the point, and I've kind of asked for anything else there. And then in the final, I got to face Dave Munson. He had a close match against Mike Munson where Mike was playing lights out the first game, but then once it got to the second game in tiebreaker, he kind of ran out of steam. So that led to me versus Dave Munson final match where Dave went out to a quick 6-1 lead. And
that's like Ryan's lead against you.
Yeah, I had a bigger. Yeah. Mine was a little bigger, but yes, essentially like my lead.
But stayed relaxed. I faced him a few times, or a couple of times. Actually, yeah, 3 times I played him over winter break. Just stayed relaxed and then found my groove and went on a good run to win in 2. So
yeah. Ray, let me ask. You brought up a great point that is like my lead. A great point, actually.
Thank you.
Ray, how did that prepare you? Because you say you stayed focused this time around, and you were not. You did not stay calm when you were under pressure against me. I mean, I saw you shaking in the back court. So, how did that kind of help you get ready for something like that moving forward, where like even if you have, you're down by a sizable lead, you can still come back. Did you kind of feel like against Dave, no matter how big the lead got, you could still come back and win the game?
You know what, Ryan? I'm going to tell you everything that you want to hear right now. Of that match against you really just set the tone for me for the year so far. Of like when I was down against you, I was shaking in my boots, just hoping for the best, and something happened to click. And once I got over that deficit, I just knew I knew that any other matchup was that I could hang in there. If I can get past you, then that was just going to set the tone, and I'm really thankful for that.
It's not so much about getting just Ray. The premise of this is I just want to establish like having deficits and you're able to come back and win the game. I just want to know, that win against me maybe helped out a little bit with your confidence when you have those deficits. And as we kind of talked earlier in the podcast, which there is something I want to bring up with you, Ray, because we did speak about it, but I'm all about giving other players confidence, whether that's Mark Doyle in the Nationals, whether that's Gabriella Bike for her career, whether that's Ray Ure to go on and win his pro stuff. I just want people to be confident in their game. And so, Ray, that's all I was getting at. Not so much that you were so proud to get past me, because everybody in the entire world knew you were going to get past me, but to be able to be down at a larger deficit and know that regardless of the score, you were still in the driver's seat. Is that what you felt against Dave Munson?
I felt like I faced him a few times over the years, had close matchups and whatnot, where I knew what I'm capable of, and just that, I guess, those previous experiences help me navigate those situations and remain calm and confident, and what the outcome could be in each match.
And there was a little bit of added motivation there, because before Ray's match, I said, if you win this, you'll get another appearance on the podcast. And then he won, and he said something along the lines of, like, I'm on, or something. What'd you say, Ray?
Oh, I was just
He said something like,
I heard that.
Yeah.
And when I heard that I could possibly be off the BACKWALL again, that got me jumping with joy.
So that lead, he said, no, I can do this. I'm going on the show. And then I said, okay, well, you know what? Actually, now the Bears got to win in order for you to get on the podcast. So that brings us to our next topic with you was just that game with the Bears. Iceman, incredible game. Came up just short. Give us your thoughts.
Oh, right now I'm just a little sad and quiet at the moment. For you bringing that up, that was a little bit of a
that's a low blow.
Low blow.
Yeah, it's a
bringing it
low blow.
up within 24 hours of that loss. That's.
Do you think they should have went for 2?
Yeah, watching that game, I was excited. The fact that we held the Rams only 17 points in regulation when we haven't been able to stop anything for the past few weeks.
Hang the banner.
The crowd that I was watching with, how it erupted when Iceman had that game-tying touchdown at the end of the fourth quarter was unbelievable. And then I felt so confident that we were going to win, and then the pick was thrown, which I can't be too upset because there's so much good that's happened, but it's still.
Why do you know why did DJ Moore not run hard on that route? Do you know why?
I should have talked to him about it.
He didn't run hard, and then the defender made a great play.
Yeah, I mean, he Caleb probably did make the right throw, a good throw, and that isn't the first time that I think he's kind of eased up on plays when he shouldn't have. It
was a catchable ball. He threw a catchable ball.
Wrong time now, so
it was catchable. Unfortunately, it was catchable for the defender.
Yeah, you're not wrong on that.
God. Ray, I got to ask. This is a little segment we call "Would You Rather." Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Would you rather see the Bears win a Super Bowl or win a U.S. national title?
I gotta say, sorry to any Bears fans out there.
Guys, this is so bad. That's so bad.
And ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing Ray Ure's last appearance on the Off the BACKWALL podcast. So,
Ryan, ask me about Yankees or anything.
Oh yeah, any other? Yeah, well, ask you about it?
Yeah, ask me Yankees or a national title. Guess what my answer is?
Yeah, Yankees and Broncos.
No. If the Yankees win the World Series, I will trade that over the national title, and I'm saying that because millions of people would be happy. It wouldn't just be me being happy; it'd be others.
That's a good point. I probably should. You're right.
Well, it's too late now. You already said what you think.
I'm a bad person for that answer, John.
It's too late. Good luck.
Oh, I'm admitting that I'm probably a bad person for that.
People in Chicago are shaking their head right now.
I know. The entire city of Chicago shaking their head.
Oh, man.
Well, Ray, the last thing we want to talk to you about, because we did speak about this earlier on the podcast, we just want to kind of get your thoughts. We did a segment on this show today called Questions from the Gallery. And one of the questions was about a picture of a bracket that's been circulating the internet, and it has some of the names of the likes of Dylan Schmidt and myself.
Oh yeah,
you.
I know exactly where
and
this is going.
Gabriella Bike, maybe even. And so we just want to get your thoughts. Two things. One, is that your biggest loss, maybe biggest upset, because you were the 1 seed. And two, is that one of the greatest handball performances you've seen of all time? So just want to ask those two questions to you.
You said biggest upset
in your career, yeah.
Oh, I might have been the most upset in that loss. That might be the case. But I will say I don't know I guess maybe if I'm the 1 seed and I'm losing 21-3, 21-2, I want to say were the scores. I could be wrong on that.
Wow.
Something close to that. That might on paper be the biggest upset that's happened to me. So yeah, I don't know. What was the second question on that?
The second, we got to make sure we include it. Talk about the women's bracket in that Illinois State tournament.
Oh, good point. Women's side of that bracket, I want to say the top half was the top semifinal was Lake Forest, Emma Kinane versus Audrey Peters, and Emma won that. And then the bottom half was Ezzy Clicker versus Hannah Grace, with Hannah Grace coming out on top, with then a final setup where I think they've gone tiebreaker the last 2 times they've faced Hannah and Emma, which it went exactly the same way this time with I want to say in the WPH write-up, it was like an hour and 40-minute match. I remember saying that people saying that I was going to be on, well, that there was still another match. The next thing you know, it was taking so long, so I was going to be on. But then I don't know, whatever happened, but it was such a long match, neck and neck with Emma coming out on top, 11-8 tiebreaker after two fairly close first and second games. So congrats to her on that.
Yeah, definitely. Congrats to her and to you as well, keeping that winning train rolling, baby. Love to hear. I'm all on the Ray train. Like I'm like a co-conductor, some would even say.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you're staying on it because you still haven't gotten your cut. But
I'm the one that rings the bell. Ray's driving. I'm the one that pulls that little chain that rings the bell. So I'm a proud Ray supporter. I'm in that camp for sure.
Well, thank you, Ryan.
It's Tom. It's your mother. And strong camp you got going on for the Ray Ure group. But Ray, I think that John, is there anything else you want to ask the man while he's here?
No, not on camera.
I know he's a busy guy. He's got places. Okay, all right. Well, Ray, thanks for jumping on here. I know you've been busy just with the holidays and the new year and so on. We'll definitely get you on for a full episode next podcast, which will be after St. Louis, which is in 2 weeks, right? Guys,
yeah.
2 weeks.
Yep.
So the just want to mention that the entries are still open to go and jump on into that St. Louis tournament. It's going to be a great tournament from what I hear, everything that they have planned and just the unveiling of the National Handball Center. It's just going to be a great tournament. So highly recommend checking that one out if you can. Other tournaments to look forward to. We've got Juarez coming up at the end of February. I actually think this year it's the first weekend of March, correct?
Correct.
The 6th through the 8th. And then the Los Angeles Athletic Club Open there on March 21st to the 23rd. And then following that, we've got the Salt Lake City Players Championship there in May. And then obviously the Icebreakers in summertime. So definitely look forward to what's to come and really excited to give you guys more content as we get through, more handball content as we get through these tournaments. And make sure you're following the WPH Live on Instagram at WPH Live. Make sure you follow us on Patreon there. We've got tons of behind-the-scenes footage and, old matches that we get released from ESPN+. Make sure to follow along on Facebook at the World Players of Handball. Make sure to follow our sponsor, Digiflex Solutions, for all of your handball needs. Check out thehandballstore.com for other merchandise. I think that's about it for all the shameless plugs I had. John, make sure to follow John Bike at JohnBike37 on Instagram.
Thank
you. Ray, what's your Instagram handle?
That one can't be too important. Follow John.
Follow John.
Follow John. Follow John. Follow him real closely. Big shout out again to Naty Alvarado Jr. for jumping on and doing a quick interview with us. That was great. If you want to see, honestly, we're going to do it anyways if you don't want to see it. But for future reference, let us know who you want us to interview. We've got good access to a lot of different handballers and handball supporters too. So let us know who you want to see or hear on the podcast, rather, and we will do our best to make your wishes come true. But thanks again for tuning in to this episode 3 of Off the Back Wall, powered by the World Players of Handball. And we look forward to coming back with episode 4 here soon. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.